Dear students, my name is Jordan Simeonov and I would like to present to you a historical overview of the application of pesticides, beginning from the first tries which began more than 5,000 years ago to achieve pest control with the help of natural products and agricultural practices, as cut and burn, culture rotation, and chemical fertilization. The historical periods are presented during which inorganic and biological substances were used for pest control, and the introduction of synthetic organic chemicals in the second half of the 20th century boosted the capability to counter crop and food spawning organisms. It is estimated that at present some 900 active chemical pesticides are used to manufacture 40,000 commercial preparations, and the use of pesticides has doubled between 1960 and 1980. Currently, over 372 million kilograms a year are used only in the United States, with over 1.8 billion kilograms a year used worldwide. A list of the primary benefits of the application of pesticides, including not only the progress in controlling pests and plant disease vectors, is presented, but also in the control of human and livestock disease vectors in order to eradicate parasite-borne health and life-threatening diseases in different geographical regions. This is the title page for presentations of the Erasmus project ToxSoar, Learning Toxicology through Open Educational Resources. And now let us go back on the topic and include some more detail. Pesticides are substances or a mixture of substances of chemical or biological origin used by human society to mitigate or repel pests such as bacteria, nematodes, insects, mites, mollusks, and others. They usually act by disrupting some components of the pest's life processes to kill or inactivate it. In a legal context, pesticides also include substances such as insect attractants, herbicides, plant defoliants, desiccants, and plant growth regulators. Here is a table of the most important vector-borne diseases in world regions. Let us consider several important historical dates of pesticides. 2000 BC was the first reported use of sulfur as a pesticide fumigant by pre-Roman civilizations. 1200 BC, first reports of non-selective herbicide use as biblical army salt and ash the fields of the conquered. 100 BC, the Romans supply hellebore for control of rats, mice, and insects. In year 300, earliest recording of biological control, Chinese used predatory ants in citrus for control of destructive insects. In year 900, Chinese used arsenic to control garden insects. 1649, rotenone is used to paralyze fish in South America. 1690, nicotine is extracted from tobacco for insecticide use. 1787, soap is mentioned as an insecticide. 1848, rotenone is used as insecticides in Asia. In early 1850s, lime and copper mixture is used for plant disease control on grapes in France. In 1860s, Paris green and arsenical is used as an insecticide for control of Colorado potato beetle. 1874, DDT is first made in the laboratory. 1882, Bordeaux mixture discovered in France for control of plants disease. 1883, invention of the pressure sprayer for pesticide application to crops. 1886, hydrogen cyanide is used as fumigant to citrus. The usual practice approach in many countries, a hand spraying of pesticides. 1892, lead arsenate is discovered for gypsy moth control. 1894, 1900, steam, mechanical and horse-driven pesticide spray equipment was developed. 1907 to 1911, industry begins productions of lead arsenate. 1910, passage of USA Federal Insecticide Act. 1921 was the first use of airplane to apply a pesticide. This is a picture of airplane spraying of pesticides. In 1932, methyl bromide first is used as a fumigant in France. From 1932 to 1942, insecticidal properties of DDTs are studied and described in Switzerland. In 1936, pentachlorophenol is introduced as a wood preservative. In 1942, DDT was made available for USA military use. The civilian one use was available in 1945 though. 1942, herbicidal properties of phenoxyacetic acids are described. In 1944, an introduction of warfarin for rodent control. 1946, organophosphates insecticides are developed in Germany, were made available in the United States also. From the 1950s to late 1960s, massive industrial research and commercialization of pesticide classes and families happened. In 1941, Bacillus thuringiensis, a strong insecticide, was first registered. In 1962, publication of Silent Spring by Dr. Rachel Carson. In 1965, atrazine was first registered as a herbicide. In 1970, formation of the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, was found, which is responsible for pesticide registration. In 1971, herbicidal properties of glyphosate were described. 1972, the DDT uses were cancelled by the EPA. In 1973, happened development of first photostable synthetic pyrethroid insecticide, permethrin. In 1978, the EPA releases first list of restricted use pesticides. In 1980s, the EPA cancels many uses of chlorinated hydrocarbon pesticides. In 1989, the Basel Convention on the Control of Transboundary Movements of Hazardous Wastes and their Disposal took place. And in 1998, the Rotterdam Convention on Certain Hazardous Chemicals and Pesticides in International Trade took place. 1996, Monsanto introduces Roundup Ready soybeans, which were the first transgenic crop with major market prospects. In 1996, Food Quality Protection Act becomes a law. In 1990s and 2000, year mergers and buyouts in the pesticides industry. 2001 year, Stockholm Convention on Persistent Organic Pollutants took place. By World War II, only about 30 pesticides existed. At present, some 900 active chemicals pesticides are used to manufacture 40,000 commercial preparations. At the end of the presentation is the closing page of the Toxover project, where you can see the logos of the participating educational institutions from 7 European countries.